Welcome to FME World Tour 2016.
This is the Vancouver kickoff, so we're really excited to start in our hometown of Vancouver.
Yes, indeed. No playoffs to watch this year, so at least you had FME World Tour.
Absolutely,
to look forward to.
Yeah. So makes those trips across. You know, when you go to an AHL town, usually I can talk about, you know, how good Vancouver is when they were really good. This year, I think I won't even make a Toronto joke in Toronto.
Yeah, that's how bad it's become. So anyway, we're very excited to show you the things we've been working on in the last year since we were all together. There's an enormous amount of stuff. FME continues to grow in so many different directions. We've assembled the largest team we've ever had, and we're just so thrilled and honored to be able to show you what they've been up to for the last year.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So yeah, so we thought we'd first start about, you know, why we do what we do at SAFE. And so as we know, we all have just tons of data. Data's everywhere. More and more we're being drowned by data. Every time we turn around, there's yet another source of data. And the key is we want you not to focus on how do you work with the data, but be able to just use the data however you want. So you're free to use it in whatever applications you want, wherever you want, and things like that.
So I know that Paul Ramsey in Vancouver a couple of years ago said that instead of whenever you approach a data problem, needed to get out a chisel and hammer on a rock to get that data in the shape you want, FME allows you to treat the data like it's a liquid and pour it into molds so you can painlessly get the data to look and feel however you want. And that's really what we're all about, what we're going to be showing you today.
And FME is really, it's all about saving you time, right? Like we all know, we have lots to do. We seem to get more to do with less resources. And so FME is all about how do we save people time. And you're going to see that with 2016.0 and .1 as well. So yeah.
And the world we're living in is increasing in complexity. You know, I thought at the beginning of 2015, I just felt that the rate of change began to pick up, and it hasn't slowed down since then. And we're all awash in new types of data, new things coming at us. And so we are trying very hard to have FME keep pace with that so that you can keep on top of those new things.
Yeah. And so this is a slide we got from Bruce Harold at Esri. He sent this to us. He said, hey, this is the SAFE challenge. And really, it's more than that. It's your challenge. These are all the places that you get data now. So if you look at that, I don't expect you to study it, but I'm sure you can find your favorite system on there. And it's got big data, it's got databases, it's got web services, it's got CAD, GIS, it's got everything. It doesn't have FME on it, but that's the thing I don't like about the thing. But it's got everything on that. And at SAFE, that's really what we try to do, is we're working hard so that you don't even have to ask the question where the data is and worry about it. You know, every data should be as easy to work with as XML is, really. I mean, that's ultimately our goal.
We are no longer your father's CAD to GIS translator.
Yeah.
So we are trying very hard to keep on top of all these different data sources and make them simple, in fact, trivial for you to make use of, and that's really our mission.
Yeah. Close that guy. Yeah, and so these are just all kinds of data. If you look at that chart, basically you can boil it down into different categories of data. So you see BIM, you see big data, you see JSON, you see NoSQL, web services.
Yeah.
You know, they're all point clouds, they're all there. So
yeah.
So that's really what we're all about, is making it easy for you. Yeah.
So FME really is there to help you with all those things.
Yeah.
So just to kind of do some logistics, in front of all of you, you should have a welcome package with the highly prized Transformer Guide.
That's right.
For 2016, I don't know, there must be more than 500 in there, so there's hours of reading enjoyment ahead of you.
Absolutely.
Your agenda for today, in case you want to keep us on track, as well on the back of that is a feedback form. We will want you to fill it out at the end. That's really the main thing we ask of you. The feedback you give us today is particularly important here in Vancouver because there's, 16 of us heading off to 20 cities next week. Yeah. So let us know what we can tweak, and we can make some adjustments in the next couple of days to make the experience the best possible for all the rest of our cities.
And last but not least is the GeoCoin, which is, I think it's pretty cool. It's a collectible. So if you're a coin collector, you can collect that. Okay, we talk about it as a tracker, but remember, if you track it, it doesn't track you. So if you put this in your kid's backpack and they go to school, you will not have any idea where they are. It'll just be like regular, okay?
Unless they sign in on the website.
Unless they sign in on the website every hour and enter their code, and then tell you where they are. Yeah. But it's a pretty cool thing. We have a contest we're going to talk about in a minute. Well, we actually have two contests, okay?
Well, in fact, and there's even a third, because if any of you listen to 99% Invisible, you may have heard of something called coin check. You come into a bar and you say, coin check. This is apparently what military guys do, and then they all pull out their coins to prove that they were in NAM or wherever they were.
Oh,
and so you can say coin check, and
that's
then
right.
if people pull that up, maybe at the Esri user conference, you can say coin check, and we'll find out who is actually an FME. That's the third contest. But the first contest,
yeah, is a Twitter contest. You just like some of you did with Zipster. You have your coin. You take a picture of your coin somewhere in the world. You tweet it to FME Coin. Make sure you've tagged the location. And then you can see the URL of the map up there, safe.com/FME Coins the World, and you'll be able to see your picture, and you'll be able to see other people's picture. Now, it's not instant.
That's right. There is a human moderator, so if you send us something nasty, it isn't going to go up there. We're not going to be trolled by you.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And you shot for Gianna, but other than that, it'll be okay.
And you get to win, and we're going to have prizes.
We haven't figured out what the prize is. We were thinking maybe a Model 3 reservation.
Yeah, that would be nice, yeah.
But we won't be held to that.
That's
so,
right.
But anyway, no, we don't know what the prizes are yet, but we're sure they'll be worth having.
Yeah, so maybe a jacket and a compass, maybe.
Is that what you think, Robin?
Okay. A jacket and a compass, yeah, and an FME compass, so it's not like your basic compass.
That's right.
So, yeah. We have no idea what a compass costs, but it sounds really cool. Yeah.
We have an FME compass especially.
Yeah.
You can translate the different directions.
Absolutely.
Good.
So.
And that's the first contest.
Yeah, and then the second one is to basically register your coin with the geocache site. And if you're a geocacher, then you can have a lot of fun with this one, and see where other coins are and things like that. So you got to go log on to the site, and then it's going to send you a verification of your email, all that good stuff that we all know and love. And then you register your coin. There's a little number on the back. You can go next slide, I think. And then the activation code for all of them is the same, GeoSwag.
And then you can kind of see, I think, where they all are sitting.
Yeah.
And I guess the whole thing, this would be a case where you don't actually want to keep your coin.
Yeah.
If you do this, you're actually giving it up and putting it somewhere. And we'll see how many people want to part with this fine coin. I think it's not.
I'm not giving up mine.
So, but anyway, then we'll see how they move around the world and disappear.
Yeah. So remember, it's a trackable, not a tracker.
That's right. So we won't know where you are.
Yeah.
All right.
So we also encourage people to tweet. So wherever you are, whatever city you are, FMEWT, okay, and those people who are in an East Coast city, you'll know it's what ones I'm going to. We have a long line of winning the tweet wars, and so we really want to make sure that we continue that. I actually have no idea if you have that long history, but we're going to go with it.
So again, if you're kind of wanting to follow the action as we travel, there's 4 teams from SAFE going out across North America next week, doing I think 19 cities.
Yeah.
And so we'll be tweeting. You can see what other users are up to that way as well if you want to follow along as well for the next week. And then actually there's another 46 or 45 cities worldwide where there will be these events taking place until we wrap her all up in June in Germany. And if you want to make a trip to Germany, that's a great event. It's an all-weeker.
Yeah, it's in Essen. We get to go to the bottom of an old coal mine.
That's right. Yeah. Before they close it up.
Yeah. So I think we're like a mile underground or something.
Yeah. It's almost as much fun as touring a nuclear power plant.
Well, I did a salt mine in Poland too.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're sort of collecting these amazing things that our partners put us through. It's
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
So today, we're going to spend the next 40 minutes or so looking at all the things that we've been up to in 2016.1.
And 2016.0.
Right, because a lot of you wouldn't have seen some of that. And then throughout the day, we're going to be doing deeper dives into various parts. Don and I would love to dig into lots of different parts. We're not going to be able to this morning. We're going to whet your appetite. And then other SAFE staffers are going to take deeper looks into the different things we've added in the last year that should make you more productive, more easily able to solve interesting problems throughout the day.
Absolutely. And we're also going to see user stories from around the world. We handpicked a few. And again, they're going to be presented. And then we have some customer presentations here today as well. And the user stories and the customer presentations are always,
very insightful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So it should be a fun day. So this morning we're unveiling the release candidate of 2016.1. So we're not, I guess we could say we're taking reservations on 2016.1 this morning. I'm teasing. But the release candidate is there to be downloaded. We think we're all done, but we're going to let it percolate like a good wine, at least while we go out to 20 cities and spend a week with all of us banging on it to be super sure. If you are someone that's able to try a beta, we would encourage you to try it out and let us know if you find anything. But otherwise, barring any unnatural acts, we will release this thing about, what, 10 to 15 days from now?
Probably 22nd-ish, like that, in that time frame.
Something like that. Yeah. But we'll be doing all of our demos using 2016.1 today.
And we're also doing something else new for the first time with FME 2016. You know what that is?
No.
Native on the Mac.
Right.
Yeah, so we've talked about Mac being a technology preview for a while. So now in 2016.0 and .1 especially, I have a virtual machine on this Mac, but I can't remember the last time I actually fired it up. Well, I did start it up only to install .1, but then I shut it down again. And so now it really, we're really proud of the way it works on the Mac. And so if you have a Mac, great. Of course, it still works on Windows.
And the Linux people, the one or two of you that run Linux, you can enjoy that as well. It does work very, very well there too.
Yeah, good.
So, of course, we're always in the business of connecting more things, and the world has no shortage of appetite in terms of making new things for us to connect to, and FME 2016 and .1 are no exceptions. So,
yeah, in .0 we added, you can see the list there. So we added support for, you can see SAP HANA there. What's your favorite one there, Dale?
I thought you might ask me that. I would probably go for Portal for ArcGIS, just because we know we have a lot of customers that run, it's like your own personal ArcGIS online, and kind of federates your servers and things, and so connecting to that directly certainly is making a lot of workflows easier for many of our key Esri customers.
Yeah. I like indoor GML. That probably comes as no surprise to people who know me.
It's almost the only XML-ish thing on the list.
Yeah, it is. Unfortunately, I'm sad about that. But .1, we have some things that are kind of like his baby brother.
I thought it was funny too. For all these years, I thought that GTFS was Google Transit format.
I think they changed the name.
So does that mean we're just going to say, well, I'm just going to general this if you look something up? But anyway, that's kind of fun. So in .1, which is unveiled for our release candidate today, we added the first 5 of these are NoSQL kinds of JSON big data databases. Yeah. And we're already starting to see some folks doing interesting things. We'll look at that in a second. Yeah. Don, I know that you've been excited about Tableau for a long time.
Yeah, Tableau, they're a company that does BI, and they're very close to us. They're down in Seattle. And years ago, I pinged them once just to basically download their, and they have amazing follow-up. They're just always, and they're growing like crazy. As we travel around, we see more and more customers, like regional governments, city governments, using them for dashboards and that sort of thing. Yeah. So now
we're pleased to be able to write to them. The cesium stuff is Google Earth Enterprise is going away, and so there's an open source replacement that can do 3D globes in a browser, and that's called Cesium. Yep. And so they have a point cloud format, and we're happy to support that. Yep. We're going to do more work with Cesium over the next while. The Sentinel stuff is interesting. That's a satellite out of Europe, and this is kind of a model of a direction that Don and I are seeing more and more of these sensors dumping their data into Amazon and then providing an API to get it back. And so in .1, we're giving you the ability, if you know where the stuff is on Amazon, you can go and fetch it and download it and use it. But we're going to make that seamless for you, so you'll be able to write an FME workspace that says, give me the latest scene for Vancouver from Sentinel, and it'll just go out there and find it and bring it down for you. And we're seeing that pattern next year unfolding for Landsat 8 and also for Planet Labs.
Yeah, and also NOAA. NOAA has their NextRad system, which is radar.
Yeah.
And again, they're just dumping it into Amazon S3. It's free. If you want it, go and get it.
So we're going to work hard to make that really easy for you, so you all don't have to become Amazon S3 experts, but you'll be able to just access that data very, very easily.
Yeah, and the last one, I'll just a quick mention, is Elasticsearch. And that's, we're really excited by that one for a number of reasons. We'll show a screenshot.
Yeah. So here's a Tableau example. Again, FME, we have some customers integrating data from a wide range of sources and then dumping it to Tableau to make amazing visualizations afterwards. And those can be both spatial as well as analytical.
Yeah. And then the next one is Elasticsearch with Kibana on top. And again, you can see they have great charting, and they also support maps and geometries.
So I was on a call with Tuscaloosa, which I only knew from Bugs Bunny cartoons actually before, but it turns out it's a real place. And what they did, it's a municipality, and they have dumped all of their data from all the silos in the municipality using FME into Elasticsearch. And then our Elasticsearch writer can also update things. So if a pothole gets fixed, that will get updated. And then the mayor can do a query in Kibana and see real-time results in terms of what's happening in the city. If I want to know where all the dead raccoons are, I can search that and see them just like that, and it will change. And so that data might be coming from a variety of different places, and then they can see it all in one place. I know the City of Vancouver guys are big for dead animals, so I thought I threw that in there. I once did a webinar on the dead animal data set that's on the open data of Vancouver. Just a little hint, I got a lot of negative feedback. People don't like hearing about various ways that cats meet their end and so on, but it's all in that data set.
That's right.
It's all in that data set.
Bird sightings, you could use bird sightings.
Yeah, that's not as fun. Dead bird sightings.
Okay. Yeah, and one format that we're excited about is this, Apple is working hard to bring that blue dot indoors. And so they have this new project called Apple, it's called Apple Maps Connect, and there's a format that's a JSON format called Apple Venue format. So if you have CAD drawings, if you want all your buildings, anything in there, you can basically register for this, and there's information on how to convert your data into AVF, hint, FME. And so we're pretty excited about this.
Yeah, ultimately will enable indoor navigation. So we're going to be part of this process so that organizations that want to play in the game would use FME to take their existing floor plans, put them into AVF, and then there's a process, a little dance you go through that ultimately gets you, and someone with an Apple phone would be able to know exactly where they are inside of a building.
That's right. And find friends, you'd be able to find
find your spouse.
Yeah. So if you're in a shopping mall, you could put like geofences around certain stores, and then that's like an alarm. Okay, they've entered the store. I better get there quickly. Actually, and then say I'm really hungry.
Or the other way around, that maybe you can tell them they're coming towards you in the Apple store.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, they're coming. I better get out of the Apple store.
Complete my purchase for that new watch bag.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So in addition to always looking for places where we can allow you to connect, we're also always adding new ways you can transform data. We're listening to you and figuring out how we can make FME better able to solve your problems.
And so for .0, here's a list of some of the transformers. You're going to be hearing about the top two today, so we won't go into too much
about that.
There's
a whole talk on that.
But it's exciting. We're basically being more serious about attributes.
So there's a wide range there, isn't there, all the way from the trivial, the center point extractor, which I don't know is going to get a heavy amount of use. I know these Kinesis ones are probably bidding for the bottom dweller in our usage stats. There's not a lot of people using FME for AWS yet, but a little hint, FME is an amazing tool for working with Amazon Web Services. More of you, I'm sure, will be using it with time, and we're ready for you when you are. But right now, the AWS transformers languish at the bottom of our top list.
The most significant one there is the feature writer.
Yes,
that is a game changer. And again, you'll see some examples on that. It just enables FME to integrate with things on a way never before possible. Well, it was possible, but now it's easy.
It really changes the way you think about FME transformation, actually. And I think we have a whole talk on that later today. So appearing in .1, the Dropbox connector, which had popped its head out briefly during the beta cycle of .0 and then disappeared down its rabbit hole, is back.
Yeah.
And it's better than ever.
It is.
And so that means you can put things up to Dropbox, or you can pull things down. And a little hint, if you're using the feature writer, you could write out a data set and then put it right up to Dropbox all in one run.
Yeah, and on the server, there's a Dropbox publisher, so again, you could watch a Dropbox folder, and when a full data set arrives, you can trigger operations and things like that.
One of our highest vote getters in our knowledge base, where we have an ideas thing, we'll look at that at the end of our talk this morning, was, come on, Safe, make an emailer transformer already. And I think Jason Birch is retired now. He asked it in the beginning of his career, and now he's retired. But Jason, wherever you are, we finally did that emailer for you, and so the city of Nanaimo will be a better place, I'm sure. But anyway, that's a great thing. And again, in conjunction with the feature writer, write out some features and then email the results to somebody, or email the fact that they're done, or email the statistics. That's a wonderful workflow.
And the HTML, you'll see two there for HTML, and that's all about making it really easy to make really nice looking HTML pages, web pages with all kinds of different, and you're going to see that in a minute.
Yeah, we'll look at that. Hey, Tom, should we take a quick peek? Let's just look at these last two. The temp path, basically, if you're writing data out in the middle of a workflow, you might want to just put it somewhere temporarily, so we fixed that for you, and that will clean up after itself so it doesn't leave a mess afterwards. If you're a company that uses Slack, you can post things to Slack. If you don't use Slack yet, you probably will soon. It's certainly changed our world at Safe. But in terms of integration with the outside world, one of the key things this time around was the R collar.
That's right, R.
Just in time for Talk Like a Pirate Day. So Where is that R collar?
There it is, right there.
So this is an example that, just one example. So R, if you don't know, is a statistical language that can do amazing stats processing. It also has incredible spatial stuff in it as well. And so we've made a great gateway from FME. Whoa, let's crank the font. If you go down here.
I crank my display down too, so they're like this.
Usability problem.
Yeah.
We can't get down there. Can you right click in there and get to options? No. No. Okay. Well, you can't read the R code, so we'll work on that. But basically, you can write an R script that does some sort of spatial processing or statistical processing. Data comes in. If you click on that, Don, you define the data coming in from FME like this. What data types are going to be there? We'll set it all up for you. We'll get that data over to R. You just have to write the script that's going to munge that data into something, and then you send data back to FME, and out it comes as features. Yeah. So we're looking after all the transfer. You just write a little bit of your R magic, and suddenly that power of those thousands of libraries and that amazing community of R is easily available to you at FME.
Yeah. So if you used R before, you're going to love this transformer.
Yeah.
And this really just continues on the theme at SAFE of embracing other technologies. R is fantastic. Let's just embrace it. We did the same thing in the earliest days with TCL. We also did the same thing with Python, right? So we don't want to try to compete with those things. Hey, they have great tools. Let's make it really easy in FME to use.
And in fact, this R collar was inspired by the inline query, which is really the same thing for SQL. Yeah. So you can pump a bunch of data in somewhere and then write arbitrarily complex SQL statements to pull out just the data you want in the middle of FME workflows. And that's a way of SQL enabling stuff that otherwise wasn't. So there's just a variety of things that are there. And so that's, I think, is that what we want to show there, Don? I think that's
that was it. Yeah.
Good. So we've walked through all these. So, of course, all of you that use FME on a regular basis, you primarily spend your time in Workbench. Yeah. And so we try very hard to make that into the best possible experience that it can be.
That's right. So, so now we're going to go into the other one. So we spent some time on Workbench as well. So one of the things that we did right out of the gate here is we made it easy for people to present their workspaces, because a few people do go around and they want to show workspaces, and so now we have this workspace, for example, and I'm not going to go in detail, so you don't have to, you know me, I'm only allowed to use 10 transformers, so I couldn't even talk about this one, but so you can just see this workspace. Imagine you're presenting it. Okay, there's my first bookmark. Okay, what do I do next? I hit the space bar. Oh, you know, and if I had the projectors are a little low, but whatever. You can see the next one. Okay, getting public data. Okay, I hit the space bar again, and then you can see it moves to it and then zooms in. So then by working with that, you can decide how big to make your bookmarks so that they show, and then you're not constantly, you can see the zoom, you're not constantly zooming in and out trying to, you know, get the space right.
So although this was actually designed for presenting workspaces, it actually is very useful.
Oh, it is.
Even if you're, because you got a nice pull down, you can hop around the bookmarks. Yeah. It's gonna, we think bookmarks are an important part of organizing your thinking when you're working with data, and this is gonna invite you and encourage you to do that more often.
Yeah. Okay, there's a few other things. Some people get really, it bothers them. They can't sleep at night when lines cross.
And they must chat us about it at that time.
And they're so excited they're chatting about it.
And they've got to go. Okay, there is a new Ghostbusters movie, and I know when you cross the streams, it's a bad thing, and that's what's going on right there.
So in the old days of FME, you know, people would spend hours trying to figure out how to do it so they could have no line crossing. Now you can simply right-click and say move up. And, isn't that crazy?
I think I can see the relief in all of your faces. It's astounding.
It is. And we can move it, and you can move it down again. Like if you have somebody you're working with you know who's really uptight,
look how uptight
and you like introducing crossing, you can do that.
Okay, and back again.
Yeah. Okay. We all feel better. So our stress level's gone down. Yeah. It's just a wonderful thing. So.
And then, other people also said, you know, it's a pain if I have many streams coming into one place. If I want to start working downstream, I got to reconnect many things.
Yeah, like what if I wanted to put an attribute
remover in there?
Or a manager.
Manager, okay, that's true.
So if I
AM?
AM?
I don't know.
Sure, AM. Oh,
didn't work well.
I'll just type manager.
How many managers can there be?
There's only So if I did that, then. Now I want to connect it, you know, what do I do, right? It's kind of clunky. Or worse, if I have it connected, then I delete it. Now all my lines disappear, and I got a bit of a mess,
So
right?
let's delete that guy.
Yeah.
And so instead what you now can do, if you right click on a endpoint there, we can have something called a junction. And a junction is really, now for long-time FMEers, all that thing is really is a cloner set to one that's got no decoration, it's squeezed up. And what that is a convenient way to bring a bunch of streams together without using real estate and then carry on later on.
Because now I can do whatever I want here, right? I can add an attribute manager, manager, remember to type manager. And, in the old days, now if I deleted that, it would be a problem. All my links would disappear, right? And that's really a pain when you have lots of things coming in. So there we go.
So now we'll also show them, we also did something people have asked for a long time. So let's get rid of that and right click on that newly added guy.
Yeah.
And say, no, is there a hide? There's a hide button. So you can hide a link. Now we think that we're giving you a lot of, it's like giving you all dynamite here because it's a little bit dangerous without a little bit of a course on how you use this. Because if you do that everywhere, you're not going to know.
If I selected the whole workspace and did that, that would be interesting.
Yeah, so, with great power comes great responsibility, and I think use this responsibly. Like you shouldn't do this if you've taken any alcohol at all. Do not use this function.
Yeah.
And then I guess if you click on something, you might be able to see the dashed line.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. There it is. Yeah, you can see the dashed line right there.
Maybe. Yeah, there we go. So and if you select actually the transformers on either end, it'll come back.
Yeah.
But really be careful. And this was the top vote getter in our ideas forum. So we've done it. We've done what you've asked. And so now, okay, don't complain to us if you can't read your workspace afterwards.
That just made me nervous.
But what we decided, or we made a nice idiom for you that we think might be a little better than just willy-nilly hiding. And so Don's got one big long line kind of cutting across this thing.
People get upset about that too, right? Like it cuts right over things, and so.
So if you right-click on a link and say create a tunnel, now if we look here, what we've done is we've placed a junction, and we've hidden the line coming out of it and put a label that'll give you a clue where it's going. And on the other end.
And then and the other one's down there.
Yes.
Yeah, and again, I can move that over there if I'm really.
So all that a tunnel is two junctions, a hidden label and hidden line and two labels. Yeah. And then you can fix those up. So, okay, if you must hide things, we recommend you make a tunnel. Just as an idiom, that's just a best practice as opposed to just hiding things. When you hide things, you got no clue as to where stuff's coming or going. But anyway, we're making it available to you. You don't have to use these. So if you do use them and you're unhappy, that's not my fault. That's you that did that.
Yeah, that's right. And there's one other thing here. Now this isn't a great workspace to show it, so we'll show it later.
Okay.
That was the output order on the links.
Right. Yeah. Lastly, you can tell them, the junction thing, just going back to that, if I just type junction, that's something that I can just slap down if I want to. Whoops. Yeah. And then try hard to move out of the way. But so it is really just a transformer that is the lamest possible transformer. And so you can use them. I know that Mark Ireland has used these to use FME to draw a subway map of London now with junctions. But
okay, okay. So he drew it right in work.
Yes, yeah. I wouldn't recommend that either.
Okay.
So
great. So I think that's it for that one.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to get that out of there. Okay. Good. No, we're not going to save my changes. Okay. So here we go. So that's that. So just some of the things. We didn't talk about the transformer upgrade stuff either, but that's another thing.
So yeah, we talked about the bookmark. You're going to show this control of order. We're saying that in FME 2016.1, you finally can impose order upon your workspaces, and you'll see, you're going to do that, aren't you? Yeah. So there's a few places, the creators and the links, the crossed lines we dealt with, and the junctions we did too.
Yeah, so we did it all. Yeah. Yeah, okay, there's some other things. In the past, dataset fanout was a real bear to figure out how it all worked. And so now we made it very easy. You really don't even know you're doing dataset fanout almost. You just on the output destination, you can just put the expression that's going to be used. So
for those that don't know, dataset fanout just means you're going to create a totally different output dataset based on the value of one or more attributes. Or even functions actually. And so each time we get a different value for those things, we'll just make you a different data set. So you can take one input shapefile and make 50 output ones if you feel like it. It's very, very powerful as well.
Okay, yeah, there's the transformer upgrade, so you can see all the ones that could be upgraded, and then you can do them one at a time.
This whole rejected port business, lots and lots of transformers now have a special output port called rejected, which is for anything bad that you gave us. We know that it's shocking, but many of you have bad data. And rather than either A, ignoring it quietly, or B, shutting down the translation, we are now dumping it to a rejected port. And then you can figure out what you want to do.
Yeah. And with regular expressions now, the dialogue, you can type them in there and do testing. So you no longer have to go find your favorite website where you can type in the regular expressions and then paste them back in, which I historically have always done. Okay. So the data inspector. So some work here too. You can change the icons. A lot better control over how things appear on the canvas. So that's and then, of course, if you're in Workbench, you can just, and you have a writer, you can just simply, feature type, you can simply click on it in one click. Yeah. And then opacity, because we have background maps, and so now with rasters, you can turn on opacity so you can see the background map and the raster to see how they line up.
Or don't line up.
Or don't line up, exactly. Yeah.
So, okay, here's the, okay, Donnie, you ready? You feeling good?
I'm feeling
Take
great.
a good swig, I think.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to try to put all this together and show a little example. And so as Don fires it up, I'll set the stage. As you know, the world, many cities have varying degrees of good or bad air. And
yep.
Somebody out there is gathering together a data set that's updated all the time about air quality readings from all over the place.
Yep.
And so you're going to hit some kind of a website.
Yeah, that's right. So we have two data sets. We have a web service out there that's got the air quality index for places all over the world.
Yep.
And then we have a local shapefile that has the cities that we're doing for the World Tour. And we're going to pick on one city, like Vancouver.
Okay, and check out our air quality.
Yeah. And so the first thing we're going to do is read the data. So I'm a hipster, so I'm going to use the create reader. Okay.
So Don, let's zoom this up to 140%.
It's a feature. It's a feature reader. So I got so excited.
Yeah. Feature reader.
Okay. My typing speed goes down.
I wonder if FR would get it, but anyway.
I don't know. So and then you just type creator.
Zoom this baby up to 140 for the folks at home. Okay. Once you get
this
first. You need a creator to kind of kick it off.
And just see how it knows to go to the front. I love that. Okay.
There we go. That's good.
Is that good?
Everybody should be able to see that.
Okay. I'm only allowed to use 10 transformers. So
which one are you going to read?
I'm going to read the data set first, and I know it's JSON. Okay.
The air quality stuff.
Yeah, and it just happens to be at http://fme.ly/air.
Okay, that's a shortcut. So
that's lucky.
Yeah, it is. It's really, really lucky.
And,
okay.
And I'm working with web services. So one of the things I really like when I'm reading web data on the feature reader, and the reason I love it, is I just do this enable cache. Because that means I'm going to read it once as I'm authoring. I'm not going to be hitting that web service every single time I'm doing my testing, because that's two things. A, it's slow because I got to pull the data across the wire. The second thing is sometimes the other end gets really upset. I've actually been blocked from a site because they thought I was doing a denial of service attack. And so it's hard to get back on, you know. Who do you even contact? Especially the decelerator can be useful. So I'm going to do that. And
24 hours is fine.
Yeah, and then I keep forgetting which is which, so I'm going to say read AQI.
Air quality index.
Air quality index.
So there you go. That's that one.
So I'm going to do that, and it's going to, do its caching thing, and but I won't have to do that again. You can see this takes a bit of time, and you can imagine as I'm building this, each time I run this, I'm going to wait. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now what am I going to do?
You're going to read those shape files too?
Sure. Let's read the shape files. Okay, so I'm going to use another feature reader. Feature reader. Okay, and that might be a bit aggressive on the.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go. And this time it's a shape file. Okay, and now I got to find it. Okay, and it's going to be here, and it's going to be here, and that wasn't too bad, and it's there. Okay, so now and caching on this, I don't care. It doesn't make any sense. It's local. So there we go.
Now, Don, if I wanted to know what the order was that these guys are going to be read, how would you fiddle with that?
I just move my line. So this one's 2 of 2. This one's 1 of 2. And if I didn't like it, because sometimes that you do want to control the order, I would simply right-click and say set link runtime order, and then I can move this one first.
Right.
And so now I would read the shape one first. So now if I highlight, I know that this one's going to be 2 and this one's going to be 1.
Right.
And because sometimes you have transformers that they can be more efficient if they know they get like the point on area. If, for example, if it gets the areas first, then it's not going to hold all the points. It's just going to shoot them right through. So there's things like that. So
the last thing is on this order business, if we had 2 creators in here, we could right-click on the creators and then also set the order that they're going to fire.
Yeah.
Right now it only has one, but that's all we need.
I'll put that
Oh yeah, right.
Of course,
Okay.
now this is going to cause it to reread, but that's okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create a vertex on the points, okay? And we're going to, you can see why I turned caching on.
Yeah. There you go.
There we go. Okay, so now we're going to create a vertex for this guy and make sure I don't connect it to schema like I did last night. That schema doesn't have a lot, okay? And the X is long and the Y is
Okay,
black.
so now we got air quality points.
That's right. And then over here, we are going to buffer this guy.
Okay.
So, because this is the city, so I want to put a nice buffer around it. So we'll use a geographic buffer. Okay, and again, connect it there. And how far do you want to buffer it?
Let's see. Well, what did we do last night?
We said how far could a Tesla Model 3 drive?
Okay, so 300 kilometers.
Okay, yeah. And that's pretty far.
It is shockingly far.
Yeah,
actually.
there we go. And so we had that, okay.
So now you want to find the air quality readings that are within the Tesla Model 3
That's right.
radius.
So what we need to do now is we need to do a point on area overlayer.
Yes.
Yeah, and so we put this guy down, and the points are here, the area is here, and if you did want to move them across the lines, you could do that. But we can move it up.
Okay, and so once you've got that.
Yeah, so let's look in there.
You're good.
I think we've nothing to do there,
Yeah.
so we're good there.
You just want to now filter the points that have something to do with Vancouver.
That's right, and so, okay, so now how are we going to do that? Oh, test filter.
Yeah, that's.
I'm on a mission to get people to use a test filter rather than a tester. It's not a battle I'm winning, but anyway. Okay, this is, yeah, I've never used it at such there we go. Okay, so now we got to make our test function here. So we're going to say if, okay, we'll do it this way. If underscore city contains.
We've added there's a bunch of new tests in there as well. We won't go into them right now, but.
Yeah. Now I could create a user attribute or user parameter right here, but I'm just going to type, I'm lazy. So I'm just going to type Vancouver here, and then I'm going to say this one is Vancouver, and this one is other, and there we go. Others, I should call it, so that's a lost reference.
Yes.
Okay, so now should we run this?
Yeah, do you got full inspection turned on?
Let's turn on full
changed
inspection.
And also not prompt and run. So that's a new thing. Those buttons are sort of modal and they set you in, and now it's going to count things as it's rolling by.
Yeah. And did you notice it didn't actually read that, it didn't hit that website. It's cached for 24 hours. So if you know data is only updated once in a while, you can I always set the cache to half the update. I don't know, some sampling theory course I took a long time ago. It lives with me whether it makes sense or not. And
so all of these are now clickable, and we can take a peek, but there's 66, which is pretty fun. Should we do that, Don?
Yeah, let's do that.
So I double click that. Up comes Data Inspector.
Yeah. And
these are the air quality readings that are within.
So
it turns out 300 kilometers is quite far.
Yeah.
It's usually when we too far.
That's right. Usually we think about round trip. So Dale would be able to get in the middle of Idaho, but he wouldn't be able to get back.
Yes.
So there we go.
So anyway, we got lots of air quality readings.
Yeah.
And but this is kind of a pain to look at, Don. What can we do to kind of make this easy for everybody to see?
Well, why don't we make an HTML report?
Yeah.
And then we can even give people the URL, and if they want, they can look at it themselves on their desktop. Then they can zoom in, go wherever they want.
So we have time to do that in the next, say, hour?
Well, yeah, we do. Oh boy, we're having too much fun. Okay, we're going to be really quick here. So HTML report generator. This is a new guy, really easy to use. Okay. Oh boy, this isn't helping. Okay.
There you go.
And there we go. And what do we want to do? Well, we want to
title now.
We want a title.
Or a header.
A header. Yeah. And we'll call this Vancouver just because that's good enough. And we're going to call this Vancouver AQI.
Yeah.
And we're going to header levels H1. And
center that baby.
Center this baby. And that's good enough like that. Then we're going to add a map. Should we add a map next?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go with Esri.
Oh, you want to go with Esri? Okay. Esri. Okay. And the label attribute, we're going to give it a label attribute of AQI, sure. That sounds good.
Sure.
And anything else? Base map street.
That's
looks
all good.
Okay. Then do we want a table?
Yes.
Okay. Then we'll put a table in. Click over here. Default style is great. Column contents is going to be city. That's city. Yeah. That one. and then we click down here, and we're going to add AQI, and then we're going to click down here, and we're going to add.
I think that's good.
Good enough. Okay.
Yeah.
And so we'll call this one city, and we'll call this one air quality.
Can we take a quick peek to see what this might roughly look like before we run?
I think we can.
Okay.
Let's click this.
So this isn't with real data, but it's kind of given us a bit of an idea.
Oh, we had to say, okay. Sorry, that was me. I should have clicked out over here, and now
Okay.
if you go preview. Okay.
You have to scroll. Oh, there it is. If you go down here to the bottom, you have
Oh, yes, of course.
to scroll there. Okay.
Yeah.
And
And of
given
course,
us a feeling,
that's
oh, we
right.
forgot our separators.
Yeah, that's okay. Do we need to do that?
Well, I can just show them. If you put
Yeah,
one
we'll
in,
do one. We can move it up. Separator.
and then
Yeah, there's a separator there.
that's good enough.
Okay, so we got.
All right.
Okay.
So now we've made an HTML report.
Yeah, that's right, and that's good.
Now what do you want to do with it?
We're gonna let's move it to S3.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to upload this to the web. So we're going to go to S3, uploader, and we'll connect this guy here like this. Okay, and
Like the cooking show.
look at that. Yeah, I've saved my credentials so you don't have to watch
That's
this. I did
okay.
my secure access.
It's all good to go. We're
Yeah, and
uploading.
it's called Air Quality Vancouver. It's going somewhere. Everybody can read it. It's good. We're going to log it. Yep, and we're going to run it. And again, we don't have to read the data because we already did this cached. There we go. And now you can see all the counts go by. Those counts, you want to turn them off when you got working because they don't help performance, but they're during, it even gives you a nice little warning here. So now we scroll up here. We find our link. Okay.
It logged the link
Yeah,
to the report.
that's right. So, and the link is right here. And if I click that, this is the map, okay?
Actually, go full screen. Just
Go full screen. Okay. And if I go down here, you can see the table of all the values.
And that's
Okay.
now published on the web for anybody that has that URL
Yeah.
to use. And that's as easy as that. Just for fun, Don, let's throw it on a Dropbox call just to
Okay.
show them what that would look like.
Sure.
If we
Okay.
wanted to, in addition, we could drop this thing up to drop. Yeah.
Connector.
Yeah.
Okay. Drop that guy down. I can put him here too. Doesn't even matter. Okay.
Yeah.
That will work. And I go here, and again, I've pre-configured it. I just have to say that I want to upload. And again, in this case, you can do a file if you had a hardcode file. My account, ooh, there it is. And
You go through your OAuth dance to get
Yeah.
that connected, and once you do that, you're good to go after that.
yeah, upload to. Oh, I did that again. That's that. That's
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that. That's bad.
You have to just, let's hit space there maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
No,
No.
Select
Clear
upload.
value.
there we go.
Because this is
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There
We're
we
gonna
go.
we're gonna look at that. That's gonna change.
And then that's all you do, and now it would be able to be uploaded to Dropbox as well.
So
So
if
it just
I
gives you an
open my
idea of how
Finder-
these web services all
I
fit
look at my
together.
Finder. I go to my Dropbox, and I go to my public because I put it there so anybody can see it. You'll see the file appear.
There it was this morning at 7:25, but it'll
Yeah.
be there again
Yeah.
in just a second.
Yeah, there it is. AQI report.html. And
Yeah.
again, it's on the web as well. So if you go back here, and the links, if you want to test them, are right there. So if you click that link for AWS S3, it's on the web, Dropbox. So it's that easy now to share data on the web, let people work with it. So that's the point there. So yeah.
So that's our tour of
Yeah.
FME Desktop 2016 and 2016.1. And so Don's going to just tell us a few things about
Yeah.
server.
I'm going to go really quickly.
We got another talk coming on server anyway.
Yeah, that's
so
right. That's right. So anyway, server, an all new interface. We've also released it on Docker. So if you want to read about that, you can go to the FME Server Docker Technology Preview. Okay. So we have information on that. So if you want to play around with that. The web interface is much better, easier to use. When you publish something, you immediately see it. You no longer have to go searching for your workspace all the time. You can license it in about 8 seconds. Okay, no more FlexLM. I know there's a few here who really love FlexLM. I'm sorry to say you no longer have to use FlexLM with the server. Okay, so that's that. And again, just like on desktop, the whole point is how can we connect with more and more things to make so you can automate more and more workflows. So we've done that, and we continuously are looking at how we can improve things like AWS support and other cloud things. So that's it. The FME Server dashboards, these are big. People have asked for this, and I'll go there just because I have a server here. And Firefox, where are you? Okay. And if I go here, manage, admin, dashboards, okay, total running, total daily jobs. That's what I'm looking at. There's a bunch of them there, and you can see Okay, this screen doesn't really know what size it is somehow. So anyway, you can see the total daily jobs there. There we go.
You have to scroll it up and down, I guess, to
Yeah,
get the bottom.
yeah. And so anyway, so now you can actually see what your server is doing every day, and there's a bunch of dashboards, and you can write your own as
So
well.
spoiler alert, that's using that HTML, breeding our own dog food here. Our own HTML report generator is being used to make these, and there's just a directory of workspaces that can grind the FME server stats and give you nice dashboards.
Yeah, yeah. So that's a big deal. Okay. And then FME Cloud, of course, Stuart's going to talk about that. And I actually get to join him a little bit, so that's exciting. And that's basically, you know, FME server's great, but you don't have the infrastructure, you don't want to worry about managing and all that. We worry about all that for you. And a lot of interesting new things coming up on that, which Stuart's going to talk about in some great detail. So these are teasers, scheduling. You can see what's going on with your servers really easily through a nice FME Cloud dashboard. And now the ability to connect that to other alerts on that server. So if that server gets overloaded, things like that, now you can have it notify you in a variety of different ways. So that's really exciting. And for evaluations now, you don't have to have a credit card, okay? Or to buy it, you don't have to have a credit card. So that's a big deal for cities, local governments, people who are not issued credit cards when they are hired.
So, I mean, the flip side of that means that when you run out of money, we're shutting you off. So,
yeah.
You can't have it both ways.
That's right. So. Yeah, and then also that's all about the product, and then the other side is the whole side's the community. We've really revamped the community. So if you haven't come to the community in the last 9 months or year, please do come again. It's try it. It's amazing. There's users. It's really collaborative. We have ideas. So if you have an idea on FME, there's a nice board where you can post your ideas or vote on other ideas. And
so Don, can we just take a peek over at the community?
Sure.
I know we're running out of time, but let's just look at knowledge.safe.com. I wanted to quickly show folks, if you go into ideas, for example, you can sort these by what we've done or not, and you can see that we've actually started a bunch of stuff.
You can click on like the hottest, for example.
Yeah, or the votes, actually. If I click on votes.
Yeah.
And then, whoops, I don't know why. That's a very disappointing result. Yeah. I don't know what happened. Rob, where did they all go? So there we go. So
look at that. The wormholes was #1.
Yeah, so you can see all the things that are in beta on the roadmap and so on.
Yeah.
And so that's a big. Please participate in that. It is really shaping the way we are developing the product.
Yeah. So, and the FME Hub is the replacement for the FME Store, and we've released it. It's way better than the old FME Store even now as it is, and it's only the first iteration. Soon you're going to have not just the custom transformers and custom formats of the old one, but with these web services, we're going to publish the connection information there. So within Workbench, you'll be able to download. If there's a new web service you want to connect to, you can either create it and publish it, or just download it. We're going to also have things for server. So anyway, it's just everything that we can share is going to be there. You can also have your own private area coming soon, and things like that. So we're really excited about all of that. Okay. And to sum up.
Yeah. So this is the world that we're all living in, which we can hardly even make out if your eyes are like mine.
Yeah.
And it's a complicated, busy world. And so we're working hard to make sure that FME has you covered so that you can deal with all these things.
Yeah. So with that, yeah. So really do. So thank you so much, and really do. Let us know what's important to you, what we do right, what we don't do right, the new data sources you have challenged. Before we start anything, everything's always up and down looking for support. And the ideas is one way. Vote for things you want to see. It really does make a big difference. We also have the live chat. Robin wanted me to post the information about live chat. So anyway, so we have live chat on our website too. If you have a question, to be honest, what we do is we first look in the community, even if you haven't, because there's so much information there. So the first place is always go to the community, but we have live chat, and we're always happy to help you. So.